was interesting, I thought, Ian, I'm not sure if you saw this before the start of the game, some of the Atleti board and Simeone were doing somersaults, celebrating. It was quite the sight, because they were thinking, finally, we've got rid of Joao Felix. He is off our books, as it looks like he is indeed heading back to London. Chelsea signing him on a long-term deal. From the outside looking in, and you've seen a lot of him throughout the seasons, be it at Chelsea or Barcelona, Ian, this is a real head-scratcher, isn't it?
It is, really. I mean, he didn't do too badly in his first spell with Chelsea, but when you go back and think of him as a teenager, he was the wonder boy with that huge, huge fee, which was a big, big millstone around his neck. I mean, he does have talent, but it's a kind of maverick talent that coaches haven't trusted, really. Chelsea obviously want him. He'll be their 44th player in the squad. I mean, it is quite ridiculous what's going on at Chelsea. So he arrives. Conor Gallagher has been treated really shabbily. So I'm glad he's got his move to Atleti. And let's see how that goes. But Felix, who knows? I think he wants to come to London. Let's see if he shines in London. Let's see if he gets in the team. Presumably he does.
Well, lots of people want to go to London, don't they, Alex? Not a lot of people get the opportunity to do so on a nice big contract. Atleti must be feeling like they've won a watch.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic news for Atletico Madrid. The biggest thing for them, one of the biggest things this summer, was finding a solution to the Joao Felix problem, and it not being another temporary solution. That's the thing. We've seen that, haven't we? With the loan at Chelsea, with the loan at Barcelona. He kept going away. He kept coming back, and they didn't want him here. And Diego Simeone didn't want him here either. They wanted a permanent deal, and it looks like with Chelsea, they've got it here. So that's the best news. It's done. Whatever they get in terms of a fee, and there's some talk, it could be a substantial fee. Some talk of anything up to 60 million, something like that. I don't know the details of that, but if that is the case, as you say, they'll be punching in the air because it's sorted. He moves on. Good luck to him. He never really quite fitted into Atletico, to the team culture, to the way that Simeone wants to play. It didn't happen. It's a shame because, as Ian says, we all know the talent is there. It's always been there. It's never been applied consistently. And if this is sort of the end of Joao Felix's Atletico Madrid career, which it looks like it is, that's great news for everybody concerned. It's good news for him. It's good news for Atletico. They can finally move on. And if in the process they've managed to sort of unblock this Conor Gallagher situation, which looked like falling apart when the Samu deal collapsed, going the other way to Stamford Bridge, even better.
Am I missing something, Stevie? Am I in punter mode?
I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. 50. I could somehow understand it if they got him free, right? But to pay 50 million, I mean, Chelsea, whether it's on the field, off the field, there's absolutely nothing consistent about them at all. And there's nothing normal about them. And it seems like they just can't get out their own way. And of all the daft things they've done, this is just the cherry on the top. I mean, they need, anywhere on the field, other than Cole Palmer, they need to be bringing in players who they know what they're going to get.
Right.
At the very least. And if there's one thing about signing Joao Felix for 50 million, and goodness knows what his wages are, the one thing you can guarantee, you don't know what you're going to get. Complete madness.
I suppose Chelsea would argue, look, we get rid of Conor Gallagher and we get Joao Felix in return and we pay, what, 10 million? So maybe that, working the books, means it's not the end of the world.
Well, you are very optimistic, Dan. Yeah. And you're really trying to spin the story in a very positive manner. Now, let's just look at it from the perspective of positions of need for Chelsea. Men, they have a lot of wingers and underneath players and guys that are tweeners and are neither strikers nor winger types nor really attacking midfielders. And that's what Joao Felix is. Because if you ask the question, where does Joao Felix play? Well, he's an attacking player. Well, Chelsea have a lot of those guys. So they don't really need this sort of player. From Atletico Madrid's perspective, I have to imagine that while we're sitting here flabbergasted by Chelsea pulling the trigger on this deal, Atletico Madrid, once they closed the door and they got the phone call done and the deal was done, they're like, can you believe we did this? We pulled this off? How how did we do this? How did we manage to work this out and to actually convince this team that doesn't need this player to pay us to get this player and to pay us a whole chunk of money? For Atletico Madrid, it's a big win.
Yeah.
For Chelsea, it's surplus. And they have plenty of that.
Conor Gallagher walks straight into this team, does he, Alex?
I think he's got a lot of the qualities that Simeone likes in a play. You know what a good engine he's got, how hardworking he is. I think he's quite smart tactically, and it's one thing this Atletico Madrid midfield have maybe lacked a little bit in the last couple of years. They've got good midfield players there, but someone like Koke not getting any younger, maybe not quite got the legs. I think Conor Gallagher in there will add something to this team, a little bit of bites, like I say, covering a lot of ground. I think he's the kind of player that Simeone could really like, and maybe the kind of player that Atleti have lacked since Saul really went off the boil a few years ago and just never really recovered his form. I think Conor Gallagher potentially, in the ideal scenario, is a similar kind of player to what peak Saul Niguez was for Atletico.